All right, so before we get into the meditation today, I just want to set some goals of meditation. And I also want to talk about what we are trying to do. Okay. If you think that you're meditating to relax or something, I would say perhaps turn off the video and go to sleep. Okay. What I'm trying to do is work our mind, right? Like exercise our mind. And it's going to take some sort of effort to do this. Okay. So, to get a better idea of what we're going to do before we do it, I want to talk about Siddhartha, right? The Buddha, the original Buddha. And the original Buddha, he, they say, had three stages of life. Okay. His early stage of life, they said he was kind of like spoiled, right? Even though his family was a warrior class rulers, he was a prince, right? And he had a good life, right? He had kids and a wife, and he leaves the walls of his uh, family's compound, right? And when he goes outside, he encounters something horrible, right? He encounters hunger and death and all this other stuff that he never had to encounter. And that was, so during that point, right, we could kind of look at it as a a hard time for him, right? And then in his later life, we could say that he reached some type of nirvana, okay? And the way we kind of describe this metaphorically is I'm going to use rice, okay? So when he was at his beginning stage of his life where he was the prince inside the walls, he was like a nicely cooked bowl of rice, right? And when he left the compound, he, the way I'm going to describe him in rice, because when he witnessed all this pain, he went through an ascetic stage, okay? Ascetic is spelled ASCETIC, okay? Ascetic is a lot of times when they hear it, it sounds like aesthetics, right? So it's two different things. I explained a little bit about aesthetics in the Kant video, but ascetics just means to like meditate, right? Two different things, okay? So some people are called ascetics, right? Buddha, he learned from ascetic people, right? He found people in the woods meditating, and he was ascetic, right? Now, what ascetic is, I'm going to explain it in terms of what Buddha's metaphor is kind of like saying in the story, okay? And what I describe his ascetic part is a grain of rice, okay? So we're looking at a bowl of rice, and then Buddha, at the beginning of his life, And then the Buddha, in his middle part of his life, he ate 1 grain of rice a day, right? He ate 1 grain of rice. And when he reached enlightenment, you could say he reached porridge, right? They call it like porridge, which is like in between a grain of rice and a nicely cooked bowl of rice, right? So that is kind of like how I describe Buddha's transformation, right? And when we're meditating, when we're doing the ascetics, we're focused on the ascetic part, okay? So here's just more uh, things to talk about, okay, when it comes to being ascetic. Jesus, right? What Jesus did for the world was he got hung on a cross and got tortured to death, right? That was his payment, right, to us, right? Buddha, on the other hand, right? Buddha, on the other hand, his payment to us was, in a way, reaching enlightenment, okay? So he was eating 1 grain of rice a day, okay? And at the same time, he was being present with 1 grain of rice a day. And when you eat 1 grain of rice a day, then you can't move a lot, right? You can't run can't do a triathlon on 1 grain of rice a day. You gotta be able to control your body so it slows its breath, slows its digestion, slows its mind. Okay. You could even say monks, Buddhist monks, or ascetic monks have went as far as mummifying their bodies in a certain position that allowed them to meditate for a long time, right? Being present. Okay, so I have a lot to say about this stuff, and what comes through the filter within the next couple of weeks is going to get easier for me, okay? Because there's just a lot of things I want to say about meditation. And I want you to just keep in mind what I just said about the Buddha and eating 1 grain of rice a day and being ascetic, okay? The next thing I want to talk about is words, okay? And I'm using English words, but I kind of want to I'm using these words because they're good to understand predisposition, right? And even meditation, okay? And the first word I want to talk about is, excuse me, I recently picked up this word, at least a word that I could kind of think about and make some type of analogy with, but the word is called geezer, right? I heard someone say geezer, but she was a Brit, right? But then when I seen her say it, it didn't seem like derogatory to me, so I looked it up, and I wanted to see if it was derogatory, and of course, to British, like, understanding with the word geezer, right? And the word for Brits, it's not derogatory, okay? And it doesn't really mean that it's an old man, right? But in the United States, when you say geezer, you're thinking that that person is an old man and it's kind of derogatory, showing things about their age, right? We say old geezer, right? So I just want to say that there's just certain places with certain predispositions, right, about the word geezer. The other word I want to talk about is the word mind. Okay. When you're in Europe, I noticed for sure, I noticed this twice, right? And one was in Holland and another place was in France, okay? But Europe, the way it's built, all the staircases are kind of like they have short ceilings, and they're really very vertical, right? So you're going very vertical in a short length, right? And you will see these signs, and these signs, for some reason, which interests me, and I don't know the true meaning why, is that someone will say, mind your head, okay? Mind your head. Because they don't want you to hit your head, right? So your mind, they're telling you to pay attention, like mind this, okay? Mind your head, do not hit your head. And I've seen it in English, in Holland, Amsterdam, and I also seen it somewhere in France, right? And it's written in English. Why to write in English? I don't know why, is what I was saying, but it's written in English and not French, not Dutch. Mind your head, okay? But in general, when Americans, when you hear mind, it's like, do you mind? It's more like, usually when somebody says, do you mind? And someone answers, yes, I do mind, then whatever that person who asked, if you mind, they will not likely do what they wanted to do before they asked you, right? So the idea of mind is is also different, right? It comes with these predispositions, right? So if I was talking to an American and I say I do mind, but I was just really just thinking that I'm giving it attention, it would kind of have this predisposition and it might have some type of quarrel or something. But that's what I want to say is let's mind this together, okay? So where else now? So today we're about to start meditating, I guess. And if you think that in meditation you're gonna relax, again, I don't know if I said it, but this is something challenging. So it's not a relaxing meditation. At least you can turn it into with yourself, right? With your own ways or things, but I don't want people to be sloppy, okay? So I'm gonna try to do this once a week, right? I'm gonna try to do it. I'm trying to commit to it 4 times, right? 3 times after this, Sundays in May, okay? I'm gonna try to do it no matter what every Monday, just to say fuck it, you know. But it's gonna get easier every time because the more I talk about it, the more I'm less obligated to just put out stuff, okay? And I think this is cool. I hope you guys like this. Like, you know, we're not gonna meditate. We're gonna spend about 3 minutes and 33 seconds meditating, okay? What I'm gonna do is when this timer hits, it doesn't make a noise, right? It doesn't make a noise. So I'm gonna lean over and hit this with this, okay? And you're gonna hear a ding. And then it's gonna go for about 3 minutes and 33 seconds, okay? And then this timer is gonna go off. So I'm not gonna end it with the ding. It's gonna be electronic, okay? Um, and I want to say that this is for what I want you to do. 3 minutes and 33 seconds is a long time because I want you to be there. Okay. Um, where to be more specific, right? I want to draw attention to what I was just talking about Buddha being sitting there in the lotus position under a Bodhi tree for 2 weeks, okay? This is real important stuff, okay? What he's doing is he is, in a way, controlling his body, right? And his mind, and he's being in the moment, okay? I'm going to say the world is messed up, right? And I could give as much blame to the Buddha about why it's fucked up as a religion than I could do to Jesus, right? I think the world's fucked up because if Buddha supposedly were to do what he was supposed to do, then he would make the world better. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying the world's fucked up, and it's gonna show in a minute, okay? So my main point is this, okay? When doing this, am not trying to pacify you. Like, in no degree, in no intentions, right? I do not want to pacify y'all with religious bullshit, okay? And what I'm doing is on this meditation, okay, we're going to go through breathing and we're going to come back next week, okay? But next week, by the time you watch this next video, I want you to draw out your athlete in you, okay? I thought about that since I shot that first video. What do I want from this meditation? Is for everyone to be more athletic, okay? More conscious, right? Go play some sports, right? Just have more skill at everything that you're doing, okay? Because I would say initially when we do this, it's gonna, in a way, pacify you. And if you feel that when you're doing this and you're like, you come back next week and you're pacified, I would say don't watch the next video. Just wait another week, okay? Let it catch up. Let your ability catch up. You want to be a better athlete from this, okay? But how are you going to do that, right? You're going to have to, we're telling you to do some type of mental exercise, right? And you're going to place yourself. And where I want us to be placed, right, is real important, okay? And it comes off the Kant lecture. So, what we're going to try to do is place ourselves into the configuration, right? And in a way, it's going to be objective space, right? The configuration is objective space, okay? But it's not space, okay? This is not what we're placing ourselves into, just merely space. Space has special properties, okay? And everything has special properties, but we're going to place ourselves into what I was mentioning in the Kant lectures, raw materials, right? Raw time, okay? Think about that, okay? We are part of this configuration, right? We are space in its pure form, in a way. We are time in its pure form, in a way. And we are uh, causality, right, in its pure form, in a way. But um, here, the reason why I'm drawing into, we are going to focus on constituting ourselves as raw material. And what I mean by raw material are really just two things, right? Raw material is one, unaltered material, something that's unaltered. And two, something that's unsynthesized, okay? So this raw material, unaltered and unsynthesized, is the same thing that the Buddha was connecting. Okay, we're gonna connect to the Buddha today, right? We're gonna at least try, and some of y'all will, maybe some of y'all won't. But that's what we're dealing with today. Okay, Buddha was in under the Bodhi tree, right, for 2 weeks, eating one grain of rice a day. So that being said, okay, we are getting even closer, and then it's just a few more things. Okay, I'm just explaining what's about to happen. Okay. For you to meditate, for you to be really ascetic, you're gonna have to find a posture, right, a position to be able to maintain meditation, right? You gotta think that these postures or these positions or the way these people are sitting, you'll hear people brag that they've been doing it for, oh, I meditated for 3 years, 4 years, right? And again, I know it's random, but all these people meditating, even the Buddha meditating, right? The world is still fucked up. So I'm pointing out that meditation is not a good thing, I think, in a traditional sense, right? And I am feeling, or I think in some way, that what I'm doing is different, okay? So you're not going to see me brag that I've meditated for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, okay? So that's really my point, okay? Because like, if I feel like if I did that, I'd want to like change the world somehow, right? Right? I think y'all feel me on this one. So 3 minutes and 33 seconds is a long time, I think, for what I want y'all to do. Because I want y'all to like really, really, really breathe, right? I want us to connect with each other. I think this is actually really social to me. Like, when I think about what is social, it's like we are gonna connect our breaths. Okay. My next video on meditation next Monday. I want to talk a little bit about spirituality. I'm gonna bring this out again. I'll bring something else out, I think, eventually. But I still got a lot of things to say at the beginning, right? So in a way, it's guided. Okay, this is in a way guided. Like, I'm guiding your meditation. And I think it's cool. I think I'm the best to do it, okay? At least right now. So we gotta find a posture, okay? And the way people meditate in general is that they're sitting, right? And sitting meditation is called zazen. It's from the Zen tradition, right? Zazen, Z-A-Z-E-N, zazen. This is like, I actually love it because this is, sometimes I just sit there and meditate and people watch or whatever. Not really meditating, but you know, I relax in a way. And that's not like again. It's not meditation. But you gotta find a position, right? So you gotta look at this as like these are like you got your spine like this, right? The way your neck curves, right? You gotta find it so the way your spine is sitting on itself is that if you had no control over it, it's gonna stand there, right? You gotta kind of stack it so it doesn't tilt over, right? And if you were to go to a Zen monastery, when you sit down in this line, they have the monks walking around, poking at you, telling you to like, and all that stuff, right? So there's a position where people sit for tremendous amount of time in these positions, right? They say you want to breathe in with your nose, exhale with your mouth, okay? Inhale with your nose, breathe out with your mouth. But we'll get into all that, like what is the proper way, but we'll change the way we breathe, or we'll talk about it and we'll do exercises with it, okay? So I also want to say that you could have two options, right? One is to keep your eyes open. Excuse me. The other is keep your eyes closed, right? When I was in school, I learned meditation. The other place besides Denver Zen Center was there was a PhD. He was actually Scottish. There's a PhD that he was Scottish. His name was Sean. Can't remember his last name. But Dr. Sean. Well, he was my meditation teacher. But he was sitting in a comp class with me with Dr. Tanzer, right? Dr. Tanzer's class often has other teachers sitting in that. He's one of them. But he, said, hey, if y'all want to meditate, come check it out. But I did like half my meditations with him at least. And he was he gave me a good guide, right? And he'd bring some other people in and did guided meditations. So besides the Denver Zen Center. But Sean and my first Eastern philosophy teacher, Dr. Ashby Butner, they say when they meditate, they keep their eyes open, right? And this is my first experience for meditations from my school. So you kind of say it's like Western academics is to keep your eyes open. But then my uncle, who's a Buddhist monk, who I'll talk about more in the meditation sessions, he was kind of surprised that I would meditate with my eyes open, right? He wasn't really a Zen tradition. He was in a way. And he was also like a Southern tradition, right? But he was surprised that I keep my eyes open because he and his tradition closed their eyes, right? And the people that are like following him, right? So I see both sides, okay? But I'm going to try to keep it open because when I close my eyes, it kind of like, I have a lot of things flooding, right? So I'll save some for more next time because I got a lot to say. And I don't, what else I gotta say? So I'm gonna breathe, right? I'm gonna start off breathing slowly, okay? I'm gonna say inhale and exhale. I'm gonna do that quickly, okay? So when I say inhale, I'm going to give you an opportunity to inhale longer than me, right? And then when I say exhale, you could go past me, right? And then I'll go longer. Inhale, exhale, and then inhale and then exhale, right? I'll keep saying it. Inhale, exhale. But what's going on is you want to connect your breath with the rest of your consciousness and your body, okay? Consciousness and your body, okay? Your mind and your body. And you are going to want to become one, right? In a way. And you are going to slow your breath so much, right? That you're almost not breathing. And just your body, everything in your body is slow, right? And you're going to find that if you sit there long as possible, you're going to find a position as long as possible where you are sustained, okay? So that's kind of like the idea. So you're connecting, you're being in the moment, but at the same time, right? I'm going to throw this on there because I'm challenging you. We're constituting, right? We're when we constitute the raw material, we annihilate all the other modalities. We're constantly annihilating the other modalities, right? So it's an effort, right? So when the time is over, right? So we want to know what we're doing before we go in there. We want to hold on to it. And then when it's over, we still want to have a hold of what we wanted to get a hold of before we started, okay? And that's just the raw materials, okay? We are being with the time of Buddha, right? He was being present with the same time as us now, right? We're being very present, okay? Now, when you get out, right, I don't know how much I'm going to say, but I'm going to try not to say so much, and I'm going to let everyone leave. But I'll probably just keep telling y'all to come back slowly, come back slowly, come back slowly, right? And come back slowly. And I'm leaving you in a way at a vulnerable moment, okay? You're gonna be vulnerable, I feel like, okay? And then you're gonna notice things, right? You're gonna notice the way your body feels, okay? So just know that you're gonna meditate for 3 minutes and 33 seconds, right? And it might not be a lot of time, but it's gonna give you enough time for you to read your body, you know? When people say, listen to your body because it's always telling you something, okay? I can't think of a better time than when the meditation ends and when they say, listen to your body, okay? Listen to your body, okay? Meditation is hard, right? Your body is going to ache, right? A lot of times. And because your body, when it's in an automated living, you know, it has feelings, right? And you'll feel life, right? And you'll probably feel it within you this time, but I do want to point out that there's more people in pain as well, okay? And you are, in a way, like being with their pain, right? And if there's something you could do about it, perhaps you should, right? But just focus on yourself this time and this time only, okay? Be an athlete whenever you get out of this. Next week, just drive safe, you know, be a cool person to everybody and drive safe, right? Very freaking simple. Okay. I dropped my thing. I know this is kind of weird. Like I'm actually gonna use the restroom first, okay? Wait, I got 3 minutes. Fuck. Desire. I'm gonna use the restroom and tell you guys something funny. Oh crap. All right, so people say when you meditate, right? People say when you meditate, you'll get these thoughts, right? Or these ideas or these images, or kind of like a mix of all those, right? They'll come into your mental space, right? And you want to kick it out. So if it's hot outside, right, and you have a baby in the car and the windows are up and you're meditating, you're just gonna have to say fuck it, okay? If you got something cooking on the stove and you forgot about it and you know it's burning, you're gonna have to say fuck it. Like that's how serious meditation is. Right? You have a Zoom meeting coming up in 2 hours, you start meditating. Fuck it, yo. You don't need to go to a meditation. Anyways, if you find that you're meditating, right, and it's making you more sloppy and you're not being alert after a little bit of time, after the initial time, it's got to come in waves. Just stop and try to catch back up. And then make sure that this is something that is making you, a better person, okay? And make sure, so also, like what I was saying is, make sure you're in a good space to start meditating, okay? Otherwise, you're gonna wake up and find problems, okay? So again, 3 minutes, 33 seconds. I know this is like, to me, this is awkward. I'm gonna sit here and stare at you. You can stare at my beady eyes if you want. But, so you're gonna hear this, it's gonna turn off, and then I'm just gonna tell you, hold on, come back slowly. And then I'm gonna say, I'm gonna end it, and I'll see you guys next week, okay? I know this was a long one, but this is like, the next one won't be as crazy or as hectic. This one's hectic because this is like the first one. Okay, so I'm gonna hit this. I'm really nervous, but we're gonna start like, before the actual 3 minutes, 33 seconds, okay? When you inhale, you can't really just blow it all out, okay? You gotta just like, right before it's all out, you hold on to it, and then the momentum will carry it past, and then it's gonna come back, and then you're gonna inhale, right? Or whatever way it is. So always stop a little bit before. The momentum is gonna carry it one way, and it's naturally gonna go backwards, right? We're gonna talk about breathing a lot, okay? And you're gonna be professional breathers when this shit's over. So I'm gonna say that I'm gonna do this about. I'm gonna probably breathe about 10 times. Okay, I'm gonna tell you inhale, exhale about 10 times, and then so we're gonna get into it together, right? And don't worry if you're not on my point, but just keep it what I'm saying in my head and try to feel what I'm saying and do it kind of. And we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna be a little distracted because I gotta hit the thing, and then when you hear the digital bells, in a way, kind of over, right? Just remember to be conscious the whole time. I'm gonna be staring into this. Okay, what I'm saying is, so you got your position right. It's kind of like straight like this. You kind of like want everything. A lot of times, like you're be sitting on a pillow. I'm not gonna explain it to you because but you fold your hands together. You can do fold it like this, okay? So sometimes, like if you have something to put your hands on a little bit higher, like that's in your lap, it kind of help hold you up a little bit. I don't have that, but just it's only 3 minutes and 33 seconds. You got to make the best time of it, okay? So I'm gonna go start breathing, okay? This is so exciting and in a way it's like nerve-wracking. But after this one, we'll see how it goes. So I hope you guys do good. So I'm gonna count about 10 inhales and exhales, and then I'll hit it, okay? That might take so it might be like 4 minutes that we're in some type of zone. Okay, I'll start slow, but you could go past me, okay? Okay, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So you want to keep breathing, right? Inhale. Exhale. You're going to want to get slower and slower and slower, okay? Inhale. Exhale. You want your heartbeats and your lungs to slow down, to become one with Buddha, okay? Inhale. Exhale. So you want to stare off in front of you. It's called a gaze, okay? You're gazing. You find a spot that's a little bit in the middle, but a little bit down because your head is facing down, okay? Exhale. You're on your own, okay? Inhale. Exhale. right, so come back slowly. Come back slowly. Hold on to the Constitution. So you remember, before you run off, when you're driving, when you're handling your food, when you're using words, you're going to be more efficient, right? But now you're starting over again in a way, right? So it's going to be slower now. But by the time next Monday comes by, you're going to be more alert, more faster, more thoughtful than you were this week. But then you have a lot of things coming at you, right? So be able to sort these things faster, sort all this out faster. You have a lot of sorting out to do. Put a lot of mind into it, okay? Thanks for watching. See you next week.